The next expansion, or the first expansion I should say, before all that dividing wall, before that craft room, was the kitchen, right? That was their first idea. So obviously, again, the ceiling would have been a little bit lower. And then it would be a few years until they would make this purchase, possibly one of the most expensive purchases they made, which was the Stewart range oven. And they purchased this in 1903. This would have cost them $25. So if you were to increase that was like $3,000 today. So it was a good bit. It was a big investment, right? Got an old warming oven right here, right? Chrome that engraves it, right? Every single morning what I'll do is I'll open up the chimney, right? That's where the smoke will go out of. I'll open up this little port right here because that promotes airflow into the fire chamber. I use a lever like this to lift off what we call cast iron stove tops, right? That's what those are. So those are superheating from the fire, but I'll open that up right there. And I'll leave that like that. So I'll open up that little port, open up the door here, right? We start the fire, and since there's oxygen flowing from the chimney here, the flames are going to be drawn in this direction. So what's happening is as the flames are drawn in this direction, they're superheating these cast iron stovetops, making it really warm. But since everything else on here is cast iron, including these stovetops right here, they're also getting heated up, but to lesser and lesser extents, right? Based on their distance from the fire. So although it was incredibly rudimentary by our standards, because everything we have now in terms of convenience is like dials, buttons, and switches, but back then it was rudimentary, but it was a form of temperature control, right? So high heat, medium heat, and like basically a simmer. I can keep my hand on that for a second if I really wanted to, right? So lots of conveniences that we enjoy today. It's not like people back in the early 20th, late 19th century were ignorant of those conveniences. They just had to make greater and greater efforts to actually seek them out. And we're going to find a lot of examples like that in the Stephansson house.